Coach, thanks for sitting down with us. 2 out of the last 3 years you've gone to the Elite Eight. 2 out of the last 3 years you've been SEC Coach of the Year. Got a new contract, lots of exciting things. It's a good time to be the coach of the women's basketball team in Kentucky.
Well, it's a great time right now because we have some very good players on campus, and we've been able to attract some high-quality people that have great character, and they're really doing a good job. So I'm excited for the future. We're certainly appreciative of all the players that have played so hard over the past 3 seasons that have sort of been able to carve out an identity for us, and that's been really good. But I'm definitely excited to be at Kentucky.
And you're returning heavily 4 out of 5 starters, 6 out of your top 8 players, I think. You'll be top 10, lots of expectations. When you're sitting down with the team, what are the goals you lay out for this year? Do you say it's a Final Four is where we want to be, a championship, or is it just, play to your best?
Well, you really start over, I think, each and every year, and you try to figure out what you have and what kind of team we have. We know going in that we have talented players. The key there is to figure out how everybody can fit together and really truly become a team. A lot of people think that being a team is just looking alike and dressing alike, and I think it's much deeper than that. So what we first of all start talking about is how important the team is and how important that process is of coming together and really putting Kentucky before any personal things that you want to do. And then after that, you start to see what the potential is. But we really start there about trying to form as a team and become the best team we can. And I have told them that I think it's a championship caliber team. I think that if they have a different mentality, they're selling themselves short. That if they will truly come together as the great team that they can become, the championships would take care of themselves. But we really start with trying to get the team formed.
And a week away from Big Blue Madness, and this is kind of getting into the swing of things. It'll be a practice today and stuff. As a coach, what's this time like? Is it scary, exciting, all those things? What's it like as a coach?
The day that you and I are visiting is our actual first day of practice. So the feeling today is one of great anticipation. As a coach, you really have to try to guard against trying to do too much too quickly, and each year of experience helps me with that. I used to have a million things on that first day of practice, on that practice plan. And so today was all about trying to set the tempo, and that's this time of year, trying to put them in situations where they really have to rely on each other is something that I found to be beneficial. So it's a very important part of our formation, these early practices.
We talked with Coach Calipari last week, and one of the things we talked about is family and how important his family is to his success and teaching the players how to be fathers and things like that. You're a guy, it seems like your family is, if you Google your name, there's no article that doesn't mention your wife, I don't think, that talks about your family. How important is your family to all of the chaos that goes into being a college basketball coach?
Well, we're fortunate to be at a place where people care about what you're doing, and when that happens, a lot of people are interested in that, and so the demands on our time are great. It's wonderful to have someone share that with you, and someone who is so supportive like Jenna is, and we have really, really enjoyed our time here at Kentucky. We've said many times this is the place where we want to grow our family, and our family grew a little bit in the last year with our daughter Sailor being born, and it's a great time to have our daughter Lacey with us too. And so this is a very important part and a very important piece of being successful here, I think, is having a supportive family, and Jenna is just an incredible partner in this process.
To me, as an outsider looking at women's basketball, over the last 15, 20 years, it seems like it's evolved quite a bit. There was a time where there were 3, 4, 5 really great teams every year, and everybody else was trying to compete. Now there's a little more parity. The game's a little more fast-paced, and there are different aspects that have evolved. How has that changed? And also, being at Tennessee and now here at Kentucky, what are the things you've done to kind of try to change with the game and stay competitive?
Well, I think it's been a credit to some of the trailblazers in the sport, and certainly there were some moments that elevated the sport, and I think Coach Summit was really involved in that. And I think the great rivalry between Tennessee and UConn in the late 90s, mid-90s, late 90s really elevated the sport where people started being interested in it. think another thing that it did, it made a lot of young kids interested in what they could become as players. And so you then had a shift toward the players. And I think you started to see players that inspired young kids. And I think that right now we're the beneficiaries of that. 15, 16, 17-year-old kids watched the sport develop. And that's really the biggest difference I see over the evolution of the sport is the players. We really have a much deeper group of players that can compete at a high level. And so, the challenge now is to try to find the right kind of players to get to Kentucky. And we certainly want to be a part of the growth of the sport, and we want to try to take it to be a part of taking it to a different level too. So as you have seen our team grow and our program grow over the last 10 years, it's been amazing to go from a few hundred fans a game to now, almost 7,000 fans a game each and every night, no matter who you're playing. So we're real excited about how far it's developed at Kentucky, and we certainly want to continue that development.
It seems like there's a lot of synergy between the other programs. You see a lot of the men's basketball players at your games. What's that like? Coach Calipari, they're having tremendous success. You're having a lot of success. What's that dynamic like having two basketball programs that are doing so well right now?
Well, department-wide for our athletic department, we had 4 sports that were conference champions just last year, and that is tremendous growth just in the Kentucky athletic department over the last several years. And big credit goes to Mr. Barnhart for having that vision and being able to get us there. As it relates to basketball, John is just such a dynamic person. And I think everybody knew that with him coming in, but I don't know that anyone could have expected how giving he was of his energy to help other programs. And I'm going to tell you, he is such a supportive person in my life. He will make time for me anytime that I need time. And then when we don't need each other's time, we're just good friends and able to get together and have a good time and talk about our teams. And so he's very, very generous person with his time. And then it's very motivating for a coach that's a little bit older than I am. And I can kind of lean on his experience, and he's kind of gone through what we're trying to do here. So it's really, it's been great partnership working with John, and the way the kids support each other has been really neat to see, because I don't know that happens everywhere.
You worked with Coach Summit, obviously. Do you see similarities? And that would be both tremendously successful, but from working with her and things like that, are there similarities there between the two?
Huge similarities, because they both recruited the best players and get the best players, and that's why they win a lot of games. And that's what Coach Summit told me many years ago when I was still a high school coach, and I asked sort of a dumb catch-all question, what's the secret to success? And it's a real complicated thing to break it all down, but she basically said this: listen, if I take your high school team now and you take my college team now, it doesn't matter that I'm a better coach than you. I'm gonna, you'll beat me every time with better players. And it was an important thing that you need to understand, that it's all about people, it's all about the players, it's all about getting the right players involved. And she did that at an extremely high level, obviously, for many years. And I think John does the same thing. He gets really, really good players. And then after that now, they both do such a great job of figuring out how to get that team to play so they can be successful. So there are similarities between the two.
With Coach Summit, obviously, you had a big influence in your life. The past year with her health issues, or 2 years, what's that been like as a friend and a peer and things like that?
Yeah, it's been tough. Certainly for Coach Summit, it's been tough to have to deal with. And then for all of us that are in her support group, and all of us who have benefited from her tremendous generosity. She was so generous to give me an opportunity that she didn't have to give me, and so I'm real grateful for her and what she's done for me in my life. So when you have someone like that has a challenge and is facing a challenge, it's tough, but I'm not surprised with the way that she's decided to face the challenge, and the way that she is living her life is inspiring, and so she continues to inspire people.
We've got to let you go. I know you got to get out to practice, but any teases for Big Blue Madness? You got a dance plan to get? Everybody.
When did you say that is?
You got a week.
A week. I better start getting something together, I guess. I was in the tunnel last year, and I told Mr. Barnhart, I said, I'm not going to dance this year. He said, well, he said, I would rethink that.
That's not in the contract?
I would. You're going to get some rotten eggs thrown at you if you don't come out with something. So I better start getting something together. I
put
guess.
it on Twitter. We'll put it on Twitter and get suggestions.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe so. Somebody can come up with something, you know. I'm the only coach dumb enough to do something like that, so I don't know really what that says for me. But we'll roll out there and do something.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for your time. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.